Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? Let's talk Sade Robinson. Let's talk Sade Robinson. Let's talk this case. I go by the name Urban Flow Network. Why do I talk about this case? Why do I make content? Because I care about the current condition, the current tempo of our people in America, man. As simple as that. I believe that a wise person learns from the mistakes or the decisions of others. And beyond that, we got a community right now in Milwaukee that's suffering on account of what an alleged murderer have done to a 19-year-old. A hurt community. In addition to that, this story, in my opinion, is not getting the coverage that it deserves. And in my opinion, the silence of a lot of popular Black female content creators related to this story is telling. It's telling. And what does it tell? It tells me that, man, listen, it doesn't seem difficult to understand the reason why cases like this need to be talked about. I'll put it a different way. The same Black women who were going in when they saw that Marcus Houston, an older Black man, was dating a younger Black young lady, who he ended up marrying, who now they have 2 kids together. He was drugged for that. We're talking about a wealthy Black male getting drugged for simply dating a younger woman, younger African-American woman. But this 33-year-old white guy and this 19-year-old Black girl, no one has anything to say about that age thing, do they? He dismembers her on the first date. Guy out here looking like Joe Blow. We're going to get into this. I'm going to share my screen here in a moment. We're going to talk about some new details we have regarding this case. He out here looking like a true caveman. And this Black girl is just so giddy to go on a date with him. Got a sex dungeon in his basement. And still the idea of so many women is to protect him or to not talk about it. And I'm confused in terms of why. Years ago, and I don't like to bring up this man's name, but years ago, Kevin Samuels made a video where he talked about Black women and are they our women? And that's kind of like a redundant question, right? Realistically, it's a silly question. Because as a matter of fact, of course, obviously, yes, Black women are our women. They give birth to us. They're our mothers, our sisters, our nieces, you know what I'm saying? Our grandmothers, etc. But I think what he was looking at, and the real question behind that is, when it's lights, camera, and action, do these women act like they know that? And I think that in real life, what you see is a lot of times different than what we're seeing on social media. And that on social media, there are a lot of hurt people who have nothing but negative things to say as it pertains to Black men, even though 90% of Black women who will get married this year will get married to Black men. And 85% of Black men who are going to get married this year are going to get married to Black women. Because when Black men and Black women divide, who wins? Is like the question. Black people don't win when Black men and Black women are divided and going at it. The government wins. Society wins. The negative stereotypes win when Black men and Black women divide. So that goes for you passport brothers who travel everywhere but the continent of Africa to make this content about how you're dating these wife-ready women. That goes for these divested black women who worship the white man. I said it. They worship that damn white man. We just keeping it. We're gonna keep it 100, and I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna show it. But here's the thing, right? When you believe a certain way, who am I to tell you that what you think is wrong? You have to find out on your own. So let me share my screen here. We're gonna get into this story. Yo, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. So this has been, in my bit of research, the best source of information pertaining to this case. This live court TV, they're going to get into some text message history between Sade Robinson and this gentleman. And I want y'all to listen to the tone of this young lady. Let's get it.
Message exchange on April the 1st. This is coming from the criminal complaint. Take a look at your screen. Here it is. Sade saying, where are we meeting? I can do 5. Maxwell saying back, downtown somewhere. She's
right off the bat, right? Her willingness, her desire to meet with him. Where are we meeting? Why are you taking the lead, honey boo? Why are you taking the lead in making plans with a 33-year-old grown-ass man? His language, somewhere downtown. Like the white man ain't got to try too hard at all when it comes to his dealings with a black woman. Hold up. Oh, this is interesting. Facebook does this thing where if you pause the video and you come back to it, it mutes it. That's pretty interesting. Hold up. Let's get it.
This is coming from the criminal complaint. Take a look at your screen. Here it is. Sade saying, where are we meeting? I can do 5. Maxwell saying back, downtown somewhere. She says, okay. He suggests Brat House on 3rd. She says, perfect. He says, okay, I'm going to shower quick. I'll probably get there more on 5:15.
Hold up. You gonna shower quick? Boy, where you from? You gonna shower quick? I'm gonna shower quick. I'll probably get there more around 5:15. She hit him with perfect and okay. Perfect and okay.
You're hungry. I need to stop at Twisted Fisherman to pick up my W-2 from last year. We could eat there first. She says, okay. And yes, are we eating at the Brat House or the other place?
Listen, so it's confusing. She's confused. Listen to this. First, they're gonna go eat somewhere else. Then it's a whole different spot, right? I'm a narrate over this text. So I guess the first place may have been a bar, right? Maybe they only have drinks or something. So now he says, are you hungry? Right? He need to go to this fisherman spot to pick up some food. We could eat there first. So he's saying, look, we're going to eat and then we'll go drink. She says, okay and yes. Are we eating at the Brow House or the other place? Okay. Oh, and listen, do y'all think that this Twisted Fisherman is a 5-star restaurant? Do y'all think it's better than Cheesecake Factory? Because here it is. This is the complaint, I think, of a lot of black men, is that when it's a non-black man, aka a white man involved, he had to put in very little effort. And this is the reality across the board, is that the man who a woman really wants to be with ain't gonna have to put in that much effort to get with her, because she actually wants to be with this individual, and the intention is, from her angle, from her lens, genuine. She genuinely wants to be with this individual, so she don't go any damn where with him. She don't give a damn if they're gonna go to a walk on the park, they're gonna take a walk down the block, they're gonna go to damn Taco Bell or Twisted Fisherman. It doesn't matter. She wanna be around this person. She gonna go with him. So this is my word of advice. When black men hear these black women talk about $300, $400 first dates, just understand she don't really want to be with you, bro. She don't really want, she's not all that excited to deal with you. We're just going to keep it a whole beanstalk, bro. in most instances. Now, there are certain women that if you take them to a raggedy first date, it don't matter. Even if she want to be with you, she might take it the first time just to see what you're talking about, but you're setting yourself up for failure, basically. And unfortunately, I wish this young lady would have had definitely much higher standards than the decisions that she made. Okay, and if she was going to compromise for a 33-year-old man doesn't make sense. We're gonna continue on.
Okay, and yes, are we eating at the Brat House or the other place? He said, let's eat at Twisted. I'm feeling seafood. She says, yes, I love seafood. He says, sounds good. I'm about to leave. I'll be there soon.
Right. So if you look at the text message exchange, very positive. But here's the thing. He don't really sound too excited or romantic or anything of the above to be going anywhere with her, right? He seemed like basically nonchalant. The language of his text message is nonchalant. Now we understand that text messages, it's hard sometimes to really understand that and put those things in context, but excitement shows, bro. Excitement shows, sis. And she's definitely much more excited than him. Yes, okay, perfect. Like all of her words to him are affirming that she wants this. And he hits her with, sounds good. I'm about to leave in there. I'm about to leave. I'll be there soon. So yes, we understand that this individual was sick. He set a trap for this young lady. But we have to also be for real and understand that this woman also walked into the trap. And this is a pretty, to be honest with you, this is a pretty terrible, this is like, excuse my language, this is a pretty shitty trap. This is a pretty, like, low grade, low level, low frequency trap. This ain't no high level, like, there's no real game or manipulation or whatever. There's no real, none of that in this exchange. She was, I don't want to use the word desperate, but she was looking and searching. And when she thought she found what she thought she was looking for, she was a 100% willing participant in this situation. I'm going to back this up a little bit here. They say this man had a sex dungeon. They say this man had a sex dungeon. Do y'all think that Miss Robinson understood this? Do you think that she knew this? I'm sure that she didn't. But listen to this. They said they found her blood or some blood in that dungeon.
Case against this guy that you believe murdered that beautiful young woman. Chief Anderson, I'd like to start with you first, if I may, please.
Well, first off, I want to offer my deepest condolences to the family and friends of Sade Robinson. This is a terrible, terrible case that you just hate to see. Not only as an investigator, but as a father, these are the cases that you just despise. Pulling back those curtains from an investigator standpoint, the number one thing that you want to do is make sure that the victims' families and her friends find justice. So you work this case starting from top to bottom. I mean, evidentiary, you try to find your best investigators to help you out in your evidence gathering. Number two, you make sure that you've interviewed every witness that you can possible in this case. And number three, you get a good statement from the defendant if at all possible.
I've heard well-meaning black men make videos about this case and suggest that this woman was soliciting sex because they cannot understand in what other world this woman sees a potential future with this individual on my left. I mean, let's put this a different way. If this was a 33-year-old black man who looked the exact same way and said all the same things that this individual on the left was saying, do we still think that this young black lady would have had some type of romantic interest in him? We'll never know the answer to that question. We'll never know the answer. But, I mean, would the community have approved of that situation? I don't know. It's very difficult to say. But the bottom line is this: these two are not a match. And so people are saying, well, was she soliciting sex? Personally, I don't know. I don't know if she was or she wasn't. But she looked like the type of girl that is like a little bit gullible. I'm not gonna cap. She looked gullible. And so she may have actually been looking for a relationship with this individual. It may not have all been about sex, because they could have just went somewhere to take care of that. If that's all it was, there's spots that they could have just went. She went to at least 2 locations with him. And the other thing is this: they rode in her car. So what kind of car he got for them to be riding in her car? You went to his place, and we're gonna get into that as well too.
Well prosecuted, and the district attorney has a sound foundation of what they on how they will move when the case is prosecuted.
Chief, thank you kindly for that. You mentioned the defendant. I want to focus on him next, please. Mike Alcazar, I want to go to you on this. Tapping into your detective experience, apparently a woman told Wisconsin TV station WISN that Maxwell Anderson has a sex dungeon in his basement. And we know police found blood in his basement. What does this information mean to you if you're investigating the case?
So that's huge information. We're going to process this house. We're going to collect every evidence we can get from there, any kind of DNA, any potential DNA from potential other victims, from Sade, right? So that's important. We got to...
Y'all catch that? Potential other victims. In other words, you don't have a sex dungeon in your damn garage or your basement. First of all, what kind of hoe you taking to the basement, cuz? You taking hoes to the basement, bro? To the basement, homie. You got a whole house. This your house. You taking them hoes to the basement? Nah, bro, you into some weird stuff, bro. If you got your own place, then that means that, bro, you got a bedroom, homie. You got a bedroom, homie. What you doing taking these hoes to the basement? What you got going on in the basement? You down there doing weird stuff, bro. That's what you do that for. So what is this? What does all this mean? That means that this sick white man, this sick white male, was fulfilling some type of weird, kinky sexual thing in that basement. Let's keep it 1,000. And this is from the same place from around the way where Jeffrey Dahmer was from. You know that they say that serial murderers oftentimes have an issue with like pornography. They oftentimes associate some type of like unhealthy, unnatural sexual desire to their desire to kill. And this is the thing, that these women don't even know what they're getting themselves into, and they walk right into these traps. And here's the thing about it, right? Why are we not hearing no black women talk about this case? Why are we not hearing no black women talk about this case? It's a lot of black women on social media with very powerful voices, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I've seen one talk about it and blame black men and say, well, if black men was just protecting black women, then there would be no need for her. Listen, a white man and a black woman make a decision to do something together, and somehow the black man is responsible for that. Make that make sense. The black man was nowhere around to have anything to do with that. That was the choice of those individuals. But it is this idea, and I think that some black people have it ingrained in their mind to protect that white man. Even when he is wrong as 2 left shoes, they're going to still protect him. And I don't even think it's right for black people. Like, you wouldn't want black women to investigate white men. Like a black female prosecutor in this case, I don't think I would even trust her to even be on the case. Because she gonna sway too far in one of 2 directions. She gonna probably go so hard that she gonna be like questionable, or she gonna be so lenient that she gonna say, well, that black girl deserved it. She already, in their mind, they already got it made up. And so I like that this is a level-headed individual speaking on this case, even though he's not gonna probably be the specific detective working it, but he's level-headed. And that's what you need in this type of situation. The bottom line is this: you don't have a dungeon, a whole sex dungeon, and they have already said they found blood, unless there's other people that you've taken down there, bro. You've taken these women down there. You got something going on, bro. This is a predator, homie. And they need to go ahead and upgrade this charge from manslaughter to murder, which I hope they do, but we're going to see.
At the residence, which I think is going to strongly lead to that. What kind of tools or weapons or whatever information he has in his house that help facilitate this homicide. Also on the recovered body parts to see if this perp's DNA, his hair, his fibers, again, like the chief said, is to make for a stronger prosecution. Everything's for courtroom presentation. So it's important that they process the scene meticulously and to make a strong case for the jury.
Exactly, Detective. Thank you kindly for that. I want to play a clip from Sade Robinson's mother. Let's watch.
They found a pay. This is justice for Sade. What if would do something like this to my beautiful baby? She hurt nobody.
If this Maxwell Anderson is the maniac that police say he is, and if what he is alleged to have done was carried out by him, he needs to pay dearly. And this morning, hearing the information about the sex dungeon, I'm wondering, Chief Anderson, do you think this guy could have done these things before? If he murdered Sade Robinson, if this went down like detectives believe it did with the first date and the luring to his home and the murder and the torching of the car, the cover-up.
Come on, man.
Might he be someone you would look at for other homicides?
What do you mean, might he be?
Absolutely, and that's an excellent question, and I think that is something that goes negated, or we don't usually get this question, but as investigators, we always look to find out if there are other victims, because homicide is not a crime that just happens. In some cases, it does happen at the spur of the moment, but when you have a meticulous type murder, it takes planning. Exactly. It takes practice, unfortunately. So absolutely, we would look at him in other cases, and especially if we have witnesses now that are coming forward who knows that this man has a sex dungeon in his home, you absolutely have to look for other victims, because in most cases, it just doesn't happen once. It's sometimes it happens and the victim gets away. Sometimes it happens, and certain things that happen that took place during your date or during your contact with this suspect, you don't realize how important it is when it comes to a case like this. So
I'm gonna tell y'all something that I heard a black man say, who was live streaming, or not live streaming, but he called into a show, and he was commenting about his experiences with white men because he worked in construction. And he said him and a white man, they would just chop it up and chat. And he said that these white dudes, when they would, because again, a construction crew, they're traveling all over the place. And he said when they would go to different places like Miami, that when they would go out looking for girlfriends and wives, potentially, they would, date these Latina, these Asian, these white women. But when they wanted to just go out there and have sex, they were specifically going after black women. And God is my witness. This is what the man said. Now, the question is why? And I would argue that women make it easy, make sexual access easy with white individuals. That for some reason, when black women deal with white men, they're ready to just give up the box quickly, expeditiously, in a lot of instances. Hell, Sexy Red was bragging about how she took some white man virginity with no shame on social media. No shame. So there's something going on here in our communities. And it makes you think. It makes me think. Growing up, all those stories we heard about how black women back in the days of slavery were all getting raped, and all these black women were getting raped. And I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to water down the fact that that was happening. But what I'm saying is situations like the way that I'm seeing the psyche of black women who are free today play out as it relates to that white man. You can only imagine the psychology of certain black women back in the day when we were actually going through actual oppression. In other words, what I'm saying is it hard pressed for me to believe that some of these black women wasn't throwing themselves at these white men? Especially if they thought that having a sexual relationship with a white man would, even if he didn't marry her, would still ensure that she received a higher level of treatment than that of a slave. Just give the damn slave master a baby, be a baby mama for the slave master, and your life might be a little bit easier. Y'all don't think that y'all don't think that's possible? So in other words, what I'm saying is that this worship of this white man, this unworthy white man, okay, is or could be related to a condition that was instilled in the minds or the psyches of Black women from hundreds of years ago, that is still there. I've heard Black men talk about how Black women change up for white men in the corporate world. They'll never cop an attitude with that white man at the job. But the Black man's getting all of it. I'm just saying that I'm not saying that all these things are automatically true all the time, but there has to be some truth in some of these things. Let's continue.
Gonna look at him in other cases.
Chief Anderson, thank you for that. So a little bit that we know about Maxwell Anderson has come from some court records that we've looked at. Apparently, he has worked as a bartender. He is a Navy veteran. We know he was arrested 3 separate times for disorderly conduct between 2014 and 2019, which is a minor charge, we all know. And then he was recently arrested for operating a vehicle while impaired. So nothing on his record that indicates any kind of assaultive behavior or anything that would rise to the level of making him a repeat offender. No red flags there.
No red
But
flags.
Detective Mike Al.
No red flags. So you got 3 disorderly conducts on your record, and you talking about no red flags? You know what you got to do to get a disorderly conduct charge? If you got 3 of them hoes, bruh, something wrong with you up here. You an ignorant person. That's a red flag. If he was a Black man and he had the same damn 3 charges, do you think that anybody would be on social media, white, Black, whoever? Oh, there's no red flags there. 3 disorderly conduct, no red flags. I made stories talking about on the job, right? When it comes to callbacks from a potential employer, that a white man with a criminal record received more callbacks, on average, received more callbacks than Black men who are college educated and no criminal record. So as I said before, when the white man is involved with crime, it's like people can't see. I'm just going to continue.
You on something I think a lot of people are thinking about. I know I am as I read the facts of this case. Here we have this young woman with such a promising life ahead of her. She's going to school. She wanted to study criminal justice, of all things. She's 19. She's beautiful. She's vivacious. Everybody loves her. And she goes on a first date. You know, she's wanting to meet someone, wanting to find love, goes on a first date with this guy and doesn't come home. And you look at it, and she did nothing wrong here. What safety tips come to mind that you can share with our viewing audience, please?
That is a very important portion of this conversation. This is probably the most important part of this conversation. Before we get into their safety tips, I'm going to tell y'all, she did a lot wrong. Listen, what do women think when they go back to a man's house after a first date? What do these ladies think is going to happen? What do these ladies think these men want from them? So if you sign up for that, be prepared for the consequences. Listen, there has never been a more dangerous time in the history of humanity for women to just go out here and have sex with men. Right? I've heard that upwards of like 40-something% of people have herpes. Sexually transmitted diseases are incredibly prevalent, particularly in the Black community. So y'all going out here just having sex is foolishness. And then we get into this notion about safe sex. And I want to spend just a few minutes to talk about this because, listen, safe sex, this is what y'all saying. Safe sex. I need y'all to understand something. There ain't no thing in this world as safe sex. It doesn't even exist. Let me tell y'all the truth about it. And this is the reason why I think a lot of Black women and other people are not talking about it. Because as we get deeper and deeper into this conversation, we start having to deal with the way that we as a people deal with one another in the context of relationships. Now, understand this. I'm not here to police the way you live. I'm not here to police your body. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. But I'm not going to stop just because a person don't like it. It ain't going to stop me from telling the truth about what I know works. And all we have to do is open our eyes and look outside and understand that statistically speaking, 70-something% of Black households raising children are championed by a single mother. An unwed single mother was never even engaged to this individual. So what is that telling you? It's a lot of sex going on out here in the Black community, bro. A lot of people having a lot of unmarried people just having sex. And I'm telling you that y'all setting yourselves up for failure. And I'm not saying this because I've been a perfect person, but regardless if I've done perfectly or not, it ain't gonna stop. I care about y'all. So why would I tell y'all, oh yeah, whatever, just strap it up. Just strap it up. Just make sure she's on the pill. That joint is, they tell you that the pill is what, 90-something% effective? Let's say 98% effective, right? That means, let's do some logical math here, bro. That means that the average person who have sex 100 times while on the pill gonna get pregnant twice. It's 365 days in a year. Let's use common sense. That means that even on the pill, if you're in a relationship with somebody within the first year and y'all having sex, whatever, 1, 2, 3 times a week, within that year, you're gonna get pregnant. Let's use common sense. This is the average person. Now, listen, bro. Average ain't been good enough for the Black community for the last 25 years. So most of the Black people who get involved in these types of relationships, like most of the Black men that Black women do want to deal with, are well above average. And I'm talking about in every way now. So you're dealing with an above average man, he gonna be doing things a little bit differently. And an above average woman, it's gonna be happening differently. So that 98% effective rate gonna probably go down to about 70%, bro, 75%. Ain't no such thing as safe sex, bro, is what I'm trying to say, the moral of the story. And we got to get back to the understanding that sex is supposed to be reserved for 2 married people. Understand that if a 33-year-old man takes a 19-year-old woman out on a date and his expectation is sex, then he don't really give a damn about her. And that's all he wanted from the beginning, was some sex. He wasn't trying to marry you, stupid. Why would a 33-year-old man have it in his mind that he gonna come on the first date and have sex with a 19-year-old? If he's serious, he gonna wait. If he really understand what's the situation that's in front of him. I mean, I'm not saying he gonna wait whatever 500 years or something or whatever. I'm just saying the first date, like, that ain't right, bro. And as long as y'all want to live a life of sin and a life of unrighteousness, you're going to get unrighteous results. I'm telling you, God is on us heavy. God will do to you. Listen, man, I'm telling you right now, you will give a child you love special grace. But guess what? When you're trying to make sure that child understand the right way of doing things, you're going to discipline them. Meaning you're going to spank that. You're going to spank them. And I'm telling you, man, y'all going to have to stop playing with the Almighty, because he will spank you. He'll spank you because he loves you. Let's get this.
Yeah. I have a daughter that's 27, and I'm concerned for her safety all the time. You can't trust people these days. You should never go to an unknown person's house or residence where you're not in public. You just gotta be careful what you're consuming. We don't know if he did anything to her drink and brought her to the house.
Exactly.
You just gotta stay in public.
Whoa, now. They said he was a bartender, right? Bartenders probably got access to all kind of drugs, fam. They probably see it all. Date rape, drug, perhaps. Good point.
Trust anybody, and definitely don't go into somebody's house. That's number one.
Isn't that the truth? Thank you for that, Detective. We do have a portion of their text message exchange on April the 1st. This is coming from the criminal complaint. Take a look.
And we already got to that. So, family, I hope we learn our lesson in this case. It's difficult, like, to say like that's the moral of the story. Like for people to make it seem like, oh, the moral of the story is that women need to be more careful and vet better in terms of how they date. That's a part of this story, bro. That is a part of this story. I don't think she was soliciting sex for this individual. I think she was genuinely interested in pursuing a relationship with him, and that she was willing to do whatever it took to explore that relationship with him. Very gullible. 19. You know what I'm saying? Very gullible. But I think that there's another element to this. And what that element is basically white male worship. We're going to keep it 100. Like there, what I mean by white male worship is this phenomenon where Black women are willing to bring the bar down to a very low level and make things extremely easy for the white man in ways that are unsafe. Now, I'm not saying that Black women don't also do this for Black men, but what I'm saying is that usually when you have a young, beautiful woman, that is who they're lowering the bar for. Young, beautiful Black women are not lowering the bar for 33-year-old Black men at all. At all. They're lowering that bar for 33-year-old white men. And it's creating an unsafe climate. Because here's the thing. Do these women think that these white men do not have social media? Do these women think that these white men do not know the way that y'all basically worship them? Like the way that some of these women see the white man as being someone who can do no wrong. And to a predator, you're giving an invitation for a predator to come and do what he wants to do, which is prey on and harm you. I said a moment ago that, or in the beginning of the video, that 85% of Black men who are going to get married this year are going to marry Black women, and 90% of Black women who are going to get married this year are going to get married to Black men. Less than 1% of white men in America are married to Black women. Less than 1. Now, I'm not here to bash and take a crap on interracial relationships. What y'all do with y'all bodies is your choice. But what I'm saying is this: be responsible, be safe, understand the reality in terms of who wants you and for what reason. Understand the reason why somebody would want to deal with you. What is their objective? I said it in a song. Ain't no hate in putting yourself first. Ain't no hate in loving yourself, loving your own people. There's no hatred of anybody else involved in that. There's no hatred involved in prioritizing the needs of your own people. And if other people don't like that, then the hell with them. That's their problem, not ours. We're people who've been harmed, hurt, and oppressed in this country. And damn it, if we ain't gonna love ourselves, then who gonna love us for real? You want to love, you got fake love for your own people, and you wonder why these other nations look at you as bait. They looking at you as an easy lick because we don't love and protect ourselves. That's the truth. And if we loved and protected ourselves, it would put up a wall or a defense from predators like this from being able to come in. But when we have a situation where women in our community are destroying that wall, are chipping against the wall that Black men are building, have built, and are trying to continuously build, and some Black women have also assisted in that. What's that lady name? Shazira Ali, whatever her name is. They've helped to build this defensive wall. But again, I can't control what women do. And I don't want to control what women do, to be honest with you. I'm not here to try to control or what men do. You're going to make your own decisions, and you're going to live with them. But don't say that you wasn't warned. Don't say you ain't been told. These cases are heartbreaking. This is not this man's first time doing something like this. I don't know if he's murdered another Black woman, but he for sure got a kink in terms of dealing sexually with certain Black women. And ain't no telling what type of humiliation and brutalization he's doing to these women. Because you don't, if you just got a sex fetish with women, you gonna take them to your bedroom. You taking them to the dungeon, to the basement, bro. You doing something wild to them women, homie. And for these women to sign up for that with this individual, it ain't like you in a penthouse mansion somewhere and you go to this man basement. It ain't this. We talking about some Man, look, let me show y'all this, man. I'm gonna show y'all this, and then I'm gonna get up out of here, bro. Because this is like already too much. It's already too much. I want y'all to see
Sade, it's beautiful.
this.
And I'm not about to sit still on this one. It's justice for Sade, Nancy. It's justice.
Hold up.
Miss Scarborough, I feel like
I wish I could
anything-
find this photograph.
anything I or anybody on this panel could say,
I don't want to hear that right now.
Sade,
Hold up. Can't find it. What I was trying to show y'all was a picture of Sade Robinson's home. And what they've done, they've surrounded her home. Here it is. Yeah, we can just show you this. They've pinked out the home of Sade Robinson's killer, where this individual lived. But I'm trying to show you this to illustrate something to you. Look at this man home. Look at all this half-built crap. This home ain't even like, this is like, ain't no telling what he had going on. They say he got holes in the ground. Look at this man home. Look at this. So you going, so he got a half-built home, but he got a sex dungeon. Something wrong with this individual. So what I'm saying is, this is not his first time doing this to somebody. Last thing I'm gonna say is this, lady, y'all better use y'all primitive. Y'all better use y'all intuition. If something don't feel right, you got a certain feeling something ain't right. But here's the thing, when you worship this man, when you worship this white man, you ain't gonna see it. You're gonna miss all the signs. You're gonna miss all of them. And find yourself up Shit's Creek without a paddle. Sade Robinson sadly won't be the last. We've been seeing cases in the last few years of black women being murdered brutally by white men. And again, I understand that white men ain't the number one men killing their own women. All men within a race are the number one people killing their own race of women. And I understand that there's a higher rate in the black community. I'm not trying to negate that fact. But what I am saying is, when you put in the historical, when you put the totality of the situation, meaning historically, in its proper place, you have to understand that this is something that deserves conversation, because these people have been doing this to black folks for years. I'm just keeping it 1,000. This kink ain't start today. So these ladies need to be careful, man. These ladies need to be careful. I ain't saying, oh, black women, this is what you get for dating white men. I ain't saying that. I got friends who are married to black women. Well, I can't say friends, associates. Well, now actually, I think about it, I do have a friend who is married to a black woman. Married, right? Good dude I used to play football with back in the day. So I'm not here to demonize those relationships. This is not what this is about. But there is a level of gullibility that I see from a lot of black women when it comes to dealing with white men. And a level of grace that is afforded to white males that is not afforded to black men in most instances. And that grace can sometimes be misguided and can lead these women into very dangerous situations. In other words, you're making yourself an easy target for people who have a history of killing and oppressing our people. And these cases are going to be sensationalized and etched in the stones of history, because our people refuse to get their act right, both male and female. So I'm gonna leave y'all on that positive note, but it is a little bit of a warning as well too. Get your act right. Get your act right. Till we chat again, I'm out.